Hello, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today, July the 7th. I'm just going to put the disclaimers, she says. There you go, disclaimers up on the top left-hand side of the screen. So please have a read of those, even if you need to pause the video to do so. It's really important to understand what you can expect from these types of videos. Now, just to start, before we get into the 3D market commentary, just to let you know where you can go if you have questions or if you need extra help or support or resources or want to know where you can get our tools that I'm going to show you. So firstly, you can just about see, I think, my email address, which is here, becky@tradewithufos.com. Now, there's also a link that you can see there, tradewithufos.com/Becky. So let me take you to that. So that will bring you to this link here. And from here, you can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like to. You can look at apps and courses and generic coaching, general coaching. You can look at our live trading schedule for the sessions that we have on YouTube and through social media. If you scroll down, you can track our live session notes, which are in each of our links. For me, you can check through the different trades that I'm placing in my sessions and see what's happening with them and learn from that as well. If you scroll down more, you can learn more about the different apps, the different platforms that you can use it on. You can learn about our platform called Top, and you've got a question and answer section as well, where you can find questions that other people have asked that might be the same as your question, and therefore the answer is there. Or it may be that the question you have has not already been posted, in which case you can ask a fresh question in a public area, in a place where we can answer it for others to see as well. So lots of help and support and resources, all from this link. So please check it out. Hopefully most of what you need will be from there. Otherwise, of course, you can email me. So 3D market commentary. Let's now bring this up and have a look at what we're looking at. So on the left-hand side, we have our 3D market commentary. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger there on the right-hand side so we see more of the charts. There we go. Ooh. I just upgraded to Windows 11 and I'm not the best at it yet. different things. So we have on the left-hand side our 3D approach or our 3D market commentary news flash email. Now this email you can get if you go to the link that's on the screen, tradewithufos.com/newsflash, then you can sign up for this free email. It will come through every day, Monday to Friday, and it will give you statistics and probabilities based on the major markets in the world, looking at 3 major elements, hence the 3D approach. So the 3 elements that we'll look at, let me just expand what we're looking at right now so I can more easily show you. In fact, let's go to the S&P. It might be easier to show you with that one. There we go. So 3 different elements that we'll look at. First one is market climate, which essentially means what's the upcoming likely market direction? Is it likely to go up or down or nowhere? How do we know that, or how do we get an idea of that? We use an app called AutoClimate, which is this app down here. It's a free app on most platforms you can use it on, and AutoClimate shows us where we have probabilities, up, down, or nowhere, based on the different colored dots that we have. I'll show you as we go. Then we will look at buy and sell UFOs. UFO stands for unfilled order, and what it means is where do we have buyers that are waiting to buy that can push price up, and where do we have sellers that are waiting to sell that can push price down? And how do we know where they are, or how do we have an idea of that? We use an app called Auto UFOs, which is what we see here on the screen. The little green UFOs with the prices on the right-hand side, those show us where buyers are. The little red UFOs with the prices on the right-hand side shows us where sellers are. So we'll look at that per market. And then we'll look at market volatility, which is essentially how quickly we expect these markets to move. So we'll look at each of those 3 major elements on each of our 5 major world markets, starting with the S&P 500. Now we're looking at a daily chart of each of these markets. Different things happen on different time frames. what we're looking at will be relevant to a daily time frame for each of these markets. So S&P 500 has a thin dot on auto climate today. That tells us not enough probability in either direction, doesn't know what it's doing. Now, we have sellers here between 39.50 to 38.92.5, and we have buyers down here at 37.13.5 to 36.39. Now, we're closer to the sellers, so they are more likely to have an impact sooner rather than these guys. But for the time being, there's actually nothing to do because it doesn't have a clear defined probability in either direction. So that's the S&P. Now, in terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 26.68%. In a day, that's 64.679 points. In a week, 142.64 points. And in a month, 296.93 points. So that is the S&P and what we would expect in terms of those major statistics that we look at. Now, the next market is crude oil. So let's bring that up. Now, just to highlight here, we'll say here about our education or different education tools that we have and courses. If you go to tradewithufos.com/courses, you can check out the different courses that we do. They're very affordable and we have them in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. And most of our courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps that we use. Now, AutoClimate, which is this app down here, that's a free app on most platforms you can use it on. Auto UFOs, which is the one that shows us the buyers and sellers, that's a paid for monthly subscription, which you can subscribe for directly. You don't have to have a course in order to use it. If you go to tradewithufos.com/apps, then you can just subscribe directly for the course, or sorry, directly for the apps. You don't have to get a course. However, most of the time, it's cheaper to get a course and get 3-month complimentary access to the apps than it would be to just subscribe for the apps for 3 months. So check out what works best for you. Okay, so crude oil. Let's have a look at this. We have a thick red dot on crude oil today. That is telling us that we have probability there to the downside. Thick red dot means probability down. We have sellers here that have pushed price down. They are between 116.58 to 110.43. Price came into these sellers before, a few days ago, was pushed down a little bit, came back into these sellers a couple of days ago and was pushed down from there. Sellers push price down. That's why we want to know where they are. That's why we use this app to show us. Now, we do have buyers down here. We've got a little way to go before we reach them. They are at 80.47 to 77.83. So that is crude oil. Now, with volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in the year of 54.67%. In a day, that's 3.42 points. In a week, 7.53 points. And in a month, 15.67 points. That's crude oil. Okay, now the next market is gold. So let's load this and squish it back down so we can see what we need to see. Now, just to say, we do a lot of coaching that is free on social media platforms and YouTube, and you can follow us where we are implementing this strategy live and we are placing trades and we are explaining what we're doing. So you can follow us on those kinds of platforms. We also have an advanced all asset coaching program, which gives you access to live trading videos and also extra resources. So check that out as well by going to tradewithufos.com/coaching. Now, coming back to gold, just to highlight here, we have a thick red dot again, probability downwards on gold. We have sellers here between 1834.9 to 1783.4. And we have buyers here between 1652.8 to 1624.4. Overall, unlikely that either of those buyers or sellers will affect us today. Overall, probability down coming from the climate there. Now, with volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 21.91%. In a day, that's 24.04 points. In a week, 52.92 points. And in a month, 110.17 points. So that is gold. Now, the next market is the US dollar. Now, just as I load this, just to remind you guys from the disclaimers that everything we're looking at is to do with probabilities and statistics. None of it is guaranteed. Nothing in life is, let alone in the markets. No one knows 100% what's going to happen in the markets. We can only go by what is more or less probable and then wrap risk management around that. So we will perhaps lay extra probabilities on top of this if we want to as individual traders. We're definitely going to have risk management. So please be aware that everything we're saying needs to come with the caveat of manage your risk. Okay, so US dollar, thick blue dot, probability upwards. We have no sellers above us, so nothing to stop the movement upwards for the time being. And we have buyers here between 105.44 to 104.405. So overall, probability up with the US dollar. Now, volatility on the US dollar in a year, we would expect movement up or down of 11.84%. In a day, that's 0.8 points. In a week, 1.75 points. And in a month, 3.64 points. That's the US dollar. Now, last but not least is bakkt Bitcoin. So let's load this. Now, just to highlight as well, as I said, we do a lot of social media free sessions that you can watch, our recorded sessions for free on our social media platforms. So if you go to our Linktree link there, which you'll see on the screen, you can check out the different social media platforms that we're on, follow us for tips and for recorded videos. So use that link to help you with that. So bakkt Bitcoin, thin blue dot, meaning not enough probability in either direction. If it's a thin dot of either color, that means not enough probability, either up or down. Now, we're in a bit of a weird situation right now in the sense of we are amongst sellers right now. We're in a big area of sellers with more sellers in between. Those sellers are between 22,917.5 to 20,120. And current price is at 20,387.5, meaning we are amongst sellers right now that have already worked to push price down a couple of times, but we are still within them. We also have buyers underneath us, very, very close, between 19,922.5 to 19,122.5. Thought I was misreading that there, but it's an 800-point difference. Now, that's probably why we have not enough probability either direction, because we've got buyers and sellers very close to each other right now, having a fight. Who's going to win? Couldn't tell you. Keep out of it. There is no need to place a bet here on who's going to win or not. That would be gambling. Whoever has the most orders in the end will win. If there are more buyers, price will go up. If there are more sellers, price will go down. We don't know at this point which side is going to win, so we step out of it, let them fight amongst themselves. Whoever wins and clears the probability, that's when we're more likely to get involved. In terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 81.56%. Now, where these are much bigger numbers, I'm going to round them a bit here. So that means up or down in a day of around 1,050 points. In a week, up or down of around 2,300 points. In a month, up or down of around 4,800 points. So that's what we would expect in terms of bakkt Bitcoin. So for each of our markets now, we've looked at 5 markets, and for each of them, we've looked at 3 major statistical elements. We have market climate, using auto climate to figure out probabilities, up, down, or nowhere. We've looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that can push price up? Where do we have sellers that can push price down? Then we looked at market volatility, how quickly we expect the markets to move. The last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar, which we have here. We get this from fxstreet.com. We filter by high impact news because we want to know which scheduled news reports may increase volatility on the markets that we trade. So today being Thursday, July the 7th, we're looking at 8:15 Eastern time. So just happened, had some news out that could have affected the US dollar or the US markets. So be aware we might still be seeing some volatility off the back of that in those markets in that country. So check that out. Okay, so any questions, please email me, Becky@tradewithufos.com, or as you'll see on the screen there, you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. And from here, you can check out apps, courses, our general coaching, one-on-one coaching, our live trading schedule for our social media posts and things like that. You can track the trades that I put in my sessions. You can check out our apps in more detail, our platform in more detail, and you've got a question and answer section as well to hopefully help answer some of those questions that you have, or post your own and we can help you with the answer on that one. So overall, I will wish you guys a great rest of your Thursday, a great rest of your trading day, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.